Friendly. Friendly. Who are you? Who sent you? What are? They're coming.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back to a new survival horror. So yesterday, PS5 have their event, they have their wee future of gaming presentation. We were expecting Silent Hill, we were expecting Resident Evil 8, we only got Resident Evil 8, but it's fine, it's all good, it's all dandy. Oh sorry, I shouldn't be calling it Resident Evil 8, we should be calling it Resident Evil Village. Yes. So for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about in this episode of A New Survival Horror, Resident Evil 8 is the sequel to Resident Evil 7, a popular survival horror series, and if you haven't heard of it, what are you doing here? But it's an upcoming survival horror game set in a village, like the name suggests. And in this village, anything and everything can pop out of the shadows and just devour you. So yeah, there is so much to talk about with this trailer and with this gameplay, just with this brand new announcement altogether, so why not jump right in, stop rambling, jump in, starting with the story. Resident Evil 8 takes place years after its predecessor, with Ethan and Mia Winters settling down after the horrors of the Baker Mansion. Their life was going great until their dark past eventually returns in the form of Chris Redfield, who breaks into their house and murders Mia. This confusing event sends Ethan back into the world of survival horror as he travels to a mysterious snowy village in search for answers. So after watching this trailer over and over and over again, I was sitting here trying to piece together this theory, trying to piece together any sort of like structure as to how Ethan got to this snowy village. Why did he go here? Like, I know he's here searching for answers, but why specifically this random village out in the middle of fucking nowhere? Well, not in the middle of nowhere, because it is actually in fact set in Romania. Now, how do we know this information? Well, if you look at this screenshot right here, and up to the top right, it says Lee, which is a currency in Romania. I know, look at that, investigation skills. I didn't know that. I found that through a Twitter post. I've actually been sitting here writing this script, and I want to say for an hour straight, I was writing, I was deleting, and I wrote more and I deleted more because I just had so many different theories on how this story could go about. So here's what I have so far. Chris being involved in the story is quite interesting, but what's more interesting is the fact that he's being advertised as a somewhat main antagonist of the game. Personally, I think Chris is being forced to do all these crazy things by the connections, due to them maybe having someone hostage, or perhaps having major dirt on Chris he can't have getting out. Whatever the cause of all this is, it doesn't change the fact that Umbrella is somehow involved. In one shot of the trailer, you can see the Umbrella logo in a part of the castle. Actually, it does look like a part of a puzzle, which is quite interesting, but you know, we'll dive into that a wee bit later. There are some rumours going around about how Mia and Ethan had a kid, and the kid had a strain of the virus and stuff like that, so that kid was special, and that's why Chris came there. He came there to kill Mia because, I don't know, fucking she's the mother or something, maybe she still has the virus, or maybe she's just, he kills her because of the connections, I don't fucking know, but he wants to kill the kids because of, you know, the virus. That's an interesting theory, and it does tie into like the various symbols you see throughout the trailer, and also there is a baby in the trailer as well, but we'll get into that in a little second. In RE8, Ethan will meet a good amount of characters who appear to be various inhabitants of the village. I'm guessing some of these villagers will be introduced and then off the second we meet them, and others will have frequent appearances throughout the game. One major factor throughout the trailer is this strange symbol, which I just talked about there, that is sketched throughout the village. It's even on what appears to be the village's main entrance, so it must hold some significance. To be honest, when seeing this symbol, especially when it's scattered throughout the village, it gives me like this crazy Wicker Man-y sort of vibe, you know, that ritual sort of thing. Like maybe the village has this dark history of fucking sacrificing to a god or something like that. It gives me that sort of vibe, you know. Which, if that is the case, in which it is like a crazy religion, maybe that religion is being manipulated by Umbrella or the connections. There is one shot of a close-up of a baby, and then immediately after that shot cuts to the symbol sketched on the wall, so perhaps that actually ties into one another. Maybe that's a clue. There appears to be a fuck ton of antagonistic characters throughout this game. Starting in the town's main square, we have what appears to be a granny version of Gul'dan from Warcraft. This lovely shaman-looking woman is introduced with a creepy grin, and that's about that. Yeah, there's leaks, but won't talk about leaks today. Now, over in the castle, we have what appears to be a coven of freaky witches. One that has a bit of fashion sense, and then others who just wear hoods, which I'm guessing is the followers. Then finally we have this lovely gentleman, which may be the game's main antagonist, judging from the general vibe I'm getting from him. Now here's a hot take. I think this guy, you know, the Shades, I'm going to call him Shades, fuck it, let's call him Shades. I think he is actually a member of the Connections, and he is the one responsible for releasing this new werewolf-like virus onto the village. So there is a ton of theories going around about the game's story, about what Chris is up to, what Ethan's going to be doing, and all that jazz, but for the time being, we don't really have any further information apart from speculation, apart from theories, which, to be honest, I'm actually quite fine with that. If they keep up the mystery up until launch, then that's fantastic, because, you know, you don't really learn too much about it, and then if you learn too much about it, you just spoil yourself, and it just won't be fun going in there, you know? So with that being said, let's move on to the gameplay, have a talk about perspective, have a talk about the world, and talk about the enemies. Resident Evil 8 aims to bring back features we all know and love from Resident Evil 7 and improve upon them. First off, the game is exclusively first person, which I know will turn off a lot of fans of the games. Personally, I love the fact that they're bringing back first person. I thought first person really worked well in Resident Evil 7. I wanted it brought back because I loved A, the VR, and B, I think just first person works really well in Resident Evil, especially the survival horror-esque Resident Evil games as well, just because I don't know, it just feels more intense when you're playing in first person, because you don't know what's around your shoulder, you're walking down like a narrow corridor and you're like, oh fuck. Capcom described the gameplay in 8 being more intense and terrifying than previous installments. The core gameplay of an RE survival horror title is still here, so inventory management, limited resources, puzzle solving, and a world that is unlocked as we progress through the game. One of the more highlighted changes to the game is with the inventory system. Instead of a little side menu, RE8 has a briefcase menu in the center of the screen, which is very reminiscent of RE4's inventory. The screen might be a tad more frustrating than the previous game, as you're trying to fit as many items in there as possible, making it like a static Tetris-like thing. Also, like I said earlier on in the video, at the top right of the screen is the currency, which definitely indicates there will be a shop in the game. Again, very RE4 inspired here.
Over here, stranger.
I just hope that this shop doesn't sell things like rocket launchers and shit like that, because I feel like that would just mess up the game, because sorry, I'm not scared if I have a rocket launcher. Even if there's werewolves, even if there's like crazy witches that cause me to hallucinate, if I have a highly explosive weapon in my side, I'm not scared. I'm just going to put that out there. I think most of where the gameplay will differ from RE7 is with the enemies and location. It appears that the main common enemies we will be fighting are these werewolf-like creatures, which, judging from the trailer, these creatures will be fast and more brutal than the molded. With these enemies, the game is probably going to be way more faster paced, kind of like an RE3 remake, and especially with the village being a more open location, you're going to be boosting from like one house to the other. Of course, there is also the castle as well, which we do see in the gameplay clip. Since this location will be more narrower and more claustrophobic, we'll most likely see slower enemies here. Actually, the castle area will probably contain stalker-like enemies, which will be this coven. So instead of fighting mindless beasts, we'll be running and gunning crazy witches. I also heard that there's going to be hallucinations in this game, so if that's true, then that'll be bloody brilliant. I'm not going to lie, I love hallucinations in games, especially horror games. I think they will just work so well. So there is a ton more information about this game out there, but they're leaks, so I don't really want to cover them in this video, I'll be completely honest, because I don't want things leaked for me, I don't want things spoiled for me, especially when it comes to a horror game. Fear the unknown is the key to a horror game, so you don't want to give out too much information. I don't want to go into this game knowing exactly what kind of enemies we're going to be fighting. I don't want to go into this game knowing exactly how each enemy is going to fight. in where everything's going to be, what the history is. There's no point in knowing everything about it, you know, it'll just spoil it. Capcom have said that their focus has mainly been on combat and exploration this time around, which I'm all for. I honestly can't wait to explore this village and the Dracula-style castle that comes with it. I just hope that they still have the crazy locked doors and backtracking like in the older RE titles. Sorry, I need to take this shirt off because in Scotland right now it's fucking roasting. Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village launches in 2021 on PS5, Xbox Series X and on PC. Yes, so there's no Xbox One, there's no PS4 version, there's no Nintendo Switch version. Nintendo Switch version, man. You need to downgrade that shit and get it on the Switch. That's what everyone's doing nowadays. Come on, Capcom. But yeah, that was RE8. What do you guys think about it? Are you excited to return to the survival horror world? Or are you turned off by the first person perspective? Let me know down in the comments below. Special thanks to my lovely wee patron, Kaji, Proxy1, TG Monster, and Enigma Plays 115 for your continued support over my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I do really appreciate it. But yeah, with RE8, the reason why I'm so excited for this game, the reason why I'm so drawn to it, especially that trailer as well, is just because it's not more rehash shit, you know, because, don't get me wrong, I love Resident Evil 2 Remake, I enjoyed Resident Evil 3 Remake, I enjoyed it, but I see a lot of people being like, oh my god, why is there no zombies, oh my god, why is there no third person, oh my god, why is there not this, why is there not that, and personally for me, I don't want the exact same thing over and over and over again. Like, zombies are fun, zombies are cool, zombies were good in RE2 and RE3, but if you just keep having them, then the game doesn't get scary, the game doesn't get more intense, because we know how to deal with zombies, we know how to handle them. They're just slow moving, that's about it. So if I go into this game, I'm like, how, zombie, bang, bang. I'm not really, I'm not into the experience, you know, like, it's just, I don't know if that's just me, or if anyone else is feeling like that. I love the change in enemies. I love the werewolf sort of enemies as well, how they're going to be way more faster paced, it's going to be intense, really, yeah, it's going to be much more intense than the previous Resident Evil games. Which I like, which I'm completely up for. I feel like it's going to be just a way more engaging experience. But yeah, that's me for today. I am going to sign off because I am roasting, I am boiling. I had to close my windows in case any of my neighbours heard me being like, oh, Resident Evil. So I'm just going to be signing off now. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you want to see any more RE8 content, then please let me know down in the comments section below. And again, just want to reiterate, please be nice to each other in the comments. Don't be cunts. Come on, like, at the end of the day, it's just games, and I get that you're passionate. I'm passionate, but if it's just a change of perspective, you really don't need to be toxic. You really don't need to be so immature about it, you know? It's like, just, like I say to people, get a grip. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.